Hey Libra, it's Suzanne with Sunny Forest Tarot here to do your weekly reading for June 8th through the 15th. Whoops. All right. So I'm using my decks this week. And I know a lot of you have reached out about where to purchase them. They're not available for sale just yet. I have one more deck that I'm finishing up. You know, I was going to release them before I finish that deck, but I just want to finish it, and that will complete the series. So that's important to me, and that's what I'm doing. All right. So what do we have here? We have the Soulmate Blocks and Flow, and then we have the Love Language deck. All right, so we have the Memorable Moments deck here. And then finally, the Messages of Light and Alignment. Okie doke. All right, we'll clarify with tarot. These stories I have found have been a little bit more specific. Okay, so if the reading doesn't resonate with you, it might just not be your week. But for some of you that it resonates with, it might resonate a lot. Okay, all right, so let's see here. What do we have first? We have someone has waited long enough. Okay, so is that you or is that your person? And then we have age difference. Okay. So someone feels like they've waited long enough, and there's an age difference here. Age difference, really at the end of the day, you know, in 99% of the cases, of course, if somebody is under the age of 18, then it matters. But otherwise, you know, especially for some of the women out there, I've seen it a lot in the personal readings where women are very concerned about dating somebody possibly 10, 15 years younger than they are. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And the reason I say that is because it doesn't matter if you both want to be together. If somebody doesn't want to be with somebody because of an age difference, that's their right. But if both of you want to be in the connection, it doesn't matter. All right. You know, all we have is right now, this moment. So thinking about what's going to happen in 10 or 15 or 20 years, while that might, you know, be, you know, somewhat practical for a lot of people, at the end of the day, if the person that you're with makes you happy today and makes you happy right now, you know, there's a reason for that. Okay? So the people out there that are worried about age difference, you know, you really don't have to be. You know, and I always say, you know, if the two of you were blind, would age matter? You know, I mean, all you would base the relationship on is how the other person makes you feel and how you make the other person feel. All right, so let's see, what else? Only say it if it's nice, necessary, or true. Okay? I love that. I love that card. Obviously, I wrote it. You know, it's so true. If you don't have anything nice to say, I mean, it's true what your mother said. Don't say anything at all, because people remember that. People remember how you make them feel more than anything. Okay? And then we have never say something to intentionally hurt someone. They will never forget it. I just said that. I just said that. So there's a message here for somebody that maybe is frustrated because they've waited long enough. They might be getting ready to say something or do something that could literally hurt the other person. Okay? You know, they might say something about somebody's age. All right? That might be hurtful. You know, they might hit to the core of somebody's fears, you know, like I was talking about for women, you know, if there's a fear of an age difference, you know, this person, because they've had to wait for some reason, might suddenly say something that, you know, just hits to the core of what that person worries about or, you know, could be hurt by. So this is definitely a message to somebody to really hold back. You know, if you're going to say something nasty or mean or write something nasty or mean, or you're writing a letter right now to somebody that's very hurtful, that can do irreparable damage to that person and actually to you, because doing that will not make you feel better. Ultimately, it won't. All right, so what do we have here? Material wants. Interesting. And we have another card of waiting. So somebody definitely feels like they have been waiting for this connection. And they actually feel like they have waited long enough. And that could be what's inspiring somebody to possibly say something really not nice. And they know it's not nice. That could be you, that could be the other person. I feel like strongly, you know, it might be you. And I feel like, you know, you might say something, you know, like, you know what, you know, I don't want this anymore. I don't feel like we're compatible. You're too old. I mean, you know, something like that. That's just, I don't know. Even if you feel that's really true, there's really no reason to say it like that. All right. Material wants, I don't know what that's about, so we'll take a look at that. All right, a meeting that goes better than expected. So interesting. So it feels like the two of you are going to come together if you know, have been taking a break or have been apart for some reason, or you live in different parts of the world. A meeting that goes better than expected. And you realize now that you're never alone. Okay, so I feel like somebody holds back whatever they're angry about. I feel like they do hold it back, which is great. And I feel like they're going to appreciate that they did that, because I feel like somebody's going to come in and really give some clarity or some clarification on why they kept somebody waiting. All right. It might have something to do with age difference. Age difference just feels like something to hit somebody below the belt with, honestly. And if somebody doesn't actually do that, I feel like age difference kind of falls off. All right. Material wants. I don't know what that's about. All right, so let's see. All right, so we want to pull one for that card, for that card. I feel like these two cards are working together. Okay, and I feel like these two cards are working together. All right, so let's see. All right, someone has waited long enough. 8 of Swords. Okay. So I feel like someone has been waiting for the other person to open themselves up, to make themselves vulnerable. They might have felt trapped, or this could be you. You might feel like you've been trapped and waiting, okay? But were you waiting, or were you afraid to make yourself vulnerable first? Okay? So there's something to that. If you feel like you were waiting for somebody else, they could have felt that they were waiting for you. And it really was about who's going to make themselves vulnerable to looking like a fool, right? Because that's what we think. If we make ourselves vulnerable, we might look like a fool, which really at the end of the day isn't true, but that's what everybody thinks. All right, so only say it if it's nice, necessary, or true. Never say something to intentionally hurt someone that they will never forget it. And we get 8 of Wands, which is communication. So I feel like positive communication comes before somebody has a chance to really, really hurt somebody else, which is great. And I felt that when we got these cards over here. So I do feel like solid communication is happening. What is this waiting card? We have, all right, so we have the Hanged Woman. I feel like somebody, there was a reason that the two of you might not have been talking, okay? One of you or both of you were really trying to gain new perspective with the Hanged Woman, all right? That's what that card is about, new perspective. You might feel like you're in limbo, but you're not really, and you're not really trapped. You're afraid to do something. You're afraid to, take that step and make yourself in some way vulnerable to the other person. So I feel like that's almost a shared energy here, because both of these cards, have a similar energy. One is the minor, one is the major arcana. So I feel like the person that has really taken a look deeply and gained some new perspective here about what was going on, the person that takes the step to communicate, all right, is probably also the person that's going to make themselves vulnerable first. And if that's not you, you might want to ask yourself, why isn't it you? Why isn't it you that takes that first step? Whoever feels like they've been in this 8 of Swords energy, and again, the energy goes back and forth between people here, but whoever feels like they have had their hands tied was getting ready to say something here that wasn't very nice. And I feel like the other person comes in and, makes some communication before somebody gets the chance to do that, which is really good, Let's see, material wants, and we have Page of Cups. All right, so I feel like somebody, might have put material wants first, and they want to apologize for that. It might have been necessary, okay? That might be what the communication is about. This could have been about work. It could have been about legal things, legal settlements. Something had to be cleared up here, and I feel like somebody is apologizing, and that could be why the other person feels like they've been trapped in this waiting game, okay? All right. So then we have a meeting goes better than expected, and you realize now that you are never alone. And then we have 6 of Pentacles. So something I feel like is trying to balance out here, balancing out the communication, balancing out, how everybody feels. Let's see. Clarify the Six of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. So it's like, how does everybody feel about what's going on? Like, King of Pentacles is generosity. So I feel like this opens up somebody to be generous to you, or, you know, this communication allows your person to be, or you to be generous to your person. But King of Pentacles is happiness too. So I feel like this meeting comes with an apology about why material wants might have been a priority, okay? They wanted to get their ducks in a row first, all right? And I feel like ultimately you walk away realizing, and I don't mean walk away from this person, but you realize that you're never alone. And I feel like that's huge. That's huge. I feel like the age difference issue goes away when there's communication. If there's no communication, I feel like the age difference is something that somebody hits below the belt with, okay? Which is unfortunate. I hope they don't do that, or I hope you don't do that, all right? So, a meeting that goes better than expected. What is that meeting about? Nine of Swords. The fact that they were very, very worried they were going to lose you during this waiting period. And if this is you, someone has waited long enough. You might have been putting out that energy. You were getting ready to say something about it. You were getting ready to do something about it. I feel like that's what they're going to talk about. They're going to tell you how worried they were to lose you, Nine of Swords, and apologize and tell you why that they had to press pause on this connection. All right? All right. So Libra, that is what I have for you. Hope you enjoyed it. If you are looking for a personal reading, just reach out. I'm always available. I will respond quickly. And if not, no problem. I will just simply talk to you next time. All right? Thanks so much. Bye-bye.